This is Dr. James, and right now I'm back at home in my one-bedroom bungalow in the Canlay CV4 area of Coventry on the 52nd parallel north latitude. And I've got to mention something. I've detected some behaviour regarding my previous video and my analysis of the situation. And I was mentioning something like the Doppler effect affecting my lifestyle, etc., my ratings on my videos, and envious behaviour that's going on, and people being generally withdrawn from supporting me and not actually helping me out or supporting me as much as they should be. Obviously, fear of that that kind of activity going around me, that surveillance activity. But there's something else I need to mention in addition to that. I was at the Aldi store in Sholton Lane, Coventry, just a short while ago before arriving at home. I did a bit of shopping there, and at the queues I mentioned, I need to mention this. I heard some other customers muttering something about Amsterdam, and obviously they're aware that I've been to Amsterdam and I've even made videos there. And I think again that also props up quite a lot in the conversations of the public when I walk around, Amsterdam and prostitution, that sort of thing. So I think there's a xenophobic behaviour going on, and I'd like to say I'm Dr. James VONDUTCH. I'm not. I'm going to defend those people with that surname, and I don't want xenophobic behaviour taking place. And even the Prime Minister's wife is from Dutch origin. Just out of interest, I thought I'd mention that because that is what's going on. An activity resembling xenophobic behaviour, envious, jealous behaviour, attacking those sort of people from Amsterdam. Those people need to rally around me. Those people in Amsterdam, in particular, and the Diwaling district, they need to support me fully because they're under attack right now. They're under almost a war with these sort of people here, the locals and the people that I go around. And if they're suppressing me and my freedom, my freedom of expression, etc., that's what they're attacking. And I know it's about different cultures. We live in cosmopolitan societies and things. It is a complex issue, and we are in a secular society. But we need to remember to respect other traditions and cultures, and envious behavior like that is not tolerated, even if it involves exchange of money and tourism. Wherever it goes on, wherever you're spending your money, it can't be, defended with abuse like that. So if you're a tourist in America, or if you're a tourist in France, visiting the Eiffel Tower, or in Amsterdam, for instance, the Diwali district, wherever you are, you can't be attacked for that. And even if you spend money there, buy souvenirs, or have a good time there, that's your personal business, your prerogative. And there's envious people out here, the locals as well as others, who are shit stirring literally, and jealous, past behaviour going on. And I've detected that from conversations. I can, hear the muttering indirectly, of course, and that seems to be going on quite often. So there are a lot of jealous bastards around who can't tolerate people going to even Amsterdam, places like that. And I'm not talking about Bangkok. Obviously, that's miles away, and people can afford who can afford that. I mean, not on my budget, but some do get that, experience, and they do afford to go to places like Bangkok or even New Zealand or Australia, etc., if they can afford that. But that's their business. By all means, I wouldn't be sort of commenting negatively about them. And that's the whole culture thing that's going on. In America, you are praised for success. In this country, it's the opposite. It's jealous behavior, people trying to put you down and keep you in poverty. And that's what's going on. And it's not just the Doppler thing that's going on. It's that sort of behavior, really trying to rubbish someone off. And if it's themselves that are doing that, having a good time out somewhere, they wouldn't do that at all. And you've watched that Carry On Abroad movie. The only place you can carry on is abroad. And even below the belt area, it's disgusting behaviour when they're attacking someone's manhood. And that's what's going on here. It's not just on the basis of xenophobia, it's sexism as well on that basis. So someone's manhood, they're trying to pick on adult men like me, whatever my background is, and the cosmopolitan societies that we're supposed to be living in here, but they're not obviously trying to achieve that. And people from Amsterdam need to rally around me, definitely. I need to let them know that that's what's going on in Coventry, in Britain, and my videos they ain't popular, and the communities ain't backing them up, and they're trying to use other communities to attack them, other cultures who don't even sex people like me, for instance, or find me attractive. They're trying to use them to attack that, so that I don't have anyone being attracted to me. That's the objective, ultimate objective, and even attracted enough to me to beckon me, seduce me, or blink at me, or request having sex with me, for instance. Where are my chances? Where are my chances very high of that happening? Obviously, that's what they're against. So they're obviously against me getting sexed. That's quite clear. So that's the enemy of the state I'm in. And that film was made in 1998. Incidentally, that's an American movie, and that's when I actually first went to Amsterdam, 1998 onwards. I don't know if there's a clear link there, but that's what they're like here. They're over here. They could be complacent as hell and keep you as a masturbator for eternity for the rest of your life. And that's it. That's how complacent they are, and they'll be pleased with that. That's the status quo with them. That's the status quo of normality with them. But I've achieved better than that. Obviously, I know where I am. But they get their xenophobic behaviour. Why doesn't he live amongst them? And things like that. That is even been suggested. And why should I? When they get sexed over here, and they're ugly sorts necessarily. No, I'm not attracted to them necessarily, and they can't comment on me and my preferences for the opposite sex who finds me attractive. So they're really, end of the day, trying to attack me for my people who actually fancy me, or find me attractive, and just because they're not living necessarily with me at the moment or something. And that needs to be mentioned, as well as the Doppler effect, whatever the Doppler bugging is going on, and obviously that's been known, and surveillance operations, special branch, NHS, MI5, whoever's involved, those sort of people, obviously below the belt, and even the council, of course, social services, they've got their own, internal buggers department, etc., and that's been going on, buggery. That's what it is, end of the day, and that's what they are, the best buggers on the west coast, and they are obviously bugged now, of course, by the world community, and it's terrific, isn't it? And they know what's going on. They've separated me from my kids as well, and I don't even have any verbal contact over the phone, even with my kids, yet alone anything else, any visits or anything. So that's how drastic it is. So they don't want me with anyone, not even new partners. So I'm trying to get new partners. That's not easy around here. So obviously it might be me having to go to them like I used to, but I don't even have a car these days. So they haven't supported me financially, and that's what they're against as well. Obviously, supporting me financially, using criticism like that. And when people like Bonnie Blue, who have got a $5 million celebrity net worth, how did she achieve that fame? And with over 1,000 men she's had sex with, and even boasting about it. Why did they attack people like that? You tell me. Isn't that kind of is that sexism then? Obviously, they're attacking my man, or she's a woman, so they're not bothered about people like that. So that they can get away scot free. But those people in Amsterdam need to wake up to reality, and the Dutch people as well. They need to wake up. If they're not backing me up, they're under attack. They're under war at the moment. I think still, even 20, 30 years down the line, and since 1998 onwards, they're under a barge of terrain of rain of. Their reign, of course. They want to rule. They've had three Dutch wars anyway in the past, so that's got nothing to do with me. But anyway, current history: they are neighbours, separated by a natural physical barrier, the North Sea, from the Great Yarmouth East Anglia area. So even if there were Vikings in the past, I'm not going to get involved in that. But they've got Spanish origins as well. That's the Dutch people, and obviously they're Walloons as well in Belgium, who are closely related to the Dutch people up north. But all I can say for them is, if people like me can't go over there freely, and and even spend money there in places where I can spend money. I don't mean in the DB which is a luxury apartment, which is probably unaffordable for me. Then obviously they need to be worried as well, because they are under attack if they can't tolerate me. And when I'm out and about, all they mention is that, and that's how they put me down, and that's how they make sure that he doesn't get paid. So am I promoting them? I'm not necessarily promoting them, But when they go abroad, do they anyone criticize them? Scornfully criticize them? No. And I haven't been able to go abroad either recently. Obviously, I was made homeless, so they wanted me to become an asylum seeker and say that, like the Dutch government or the Swiss government, keep me as an asylum seeker. How could that happen when Britain isn't one of those countries, is it? I'm listed on the refugee list or whatever, dangerous hotspots around the world. And how could I have been just accepted there? And did they pay me to go there? Of course not. Did I get compensation? No. Obviously, they took everything off me. They looted me literally, not just my kids. They took my house off me as well. And they wanted me to go empty-handed to those countries. And can you become an asylum seeker? That's not the attitude they had. The mentality like that. They are real bastards up here. I'm telling you, that's how devilish bastards they are with me, and they're jealous as hell. And if I was in say America or somewhere, a place like that, I would be appraised. Over there, people get appraised, and even people like Dustin Hoffman, earning 5v5 guy, $100 million US celebrity net worth, he would have no chance over here. I think. You'd have to be at least 6 foot or something, and also I'm not sure unless he's a Simon Cowell. You might just get away with it under 6 foot 5'8" guy maybe, but not at 5 feet 5. He wouldn't have been that successful, and neither the other stars either. So it is real abuse going on. It's xenophobic behaviour in the day, and I've heard Amsterdam mentioned loads of times. So Amsterdam clearly is under attack, and maybe I should call myself Dr. James von Amsterdam, and I would be proud of that. I wouldn't be putting them down. They're trying to sound like they're Coventry natives or something. I had to wait to get my council house in my bungalow. I had to wait. I wasn't given extra favoritism, extra favorite treatment, even as a well-known figure. And far from that, I had to sleep rough in my car for plus 13 minutes. Really grumpy, enemy-like attitude for me, and nowhere near open doors, celebrity open doors like they would have for real celebrity stars. So I am kind of an enemy of a figure here, and the public seem to be just gossiping like that. The ones that there are kind of grumpy people out there, and you need to enter there, that's all they're doing at the end of the day. And nowhere near am I like Bonnie Blue, the woman from Nottinghamshire, from Stapleford, nothing like that. Obviously, they'll put her under the carpet as well and keep it quiet, of course. So I need to mention this to my viewers. It's jealous, envious behaviour, and even Joan Collins, she would have been criticised as well, even for the movie she made. And she's a 93-year-old currently, with an apartment in London and also in the Belgravia area and also in the south of France. And she wouldn't make that much wealth if those sort of people were allowed to criticise her, for instance. And people like Bonnie Blue, if they criticise them, they won't have a penny in their bank. Put it that way, they'll be just surviving on benefits, and even there they wouldn't get proper treatment. So it will be like that. It will be hell for them, and I've had to experience that sort of enemy attitude. People have got to know, and people from Amsterdam and Netherlands need to rally around people like me. I'm using the name as well. So this country has been really evil to me. They've imprisoned me for going back to my family house where my kids lived, just to check up on them and take some things home maybe with me. And my nasty ex-partner, a bully. And also, other than imprisonment, they took my house off me, my council house. They took my mother off me as well, and she died in a care home. And that's what rendered me homeless, actually, ultimately. And I had to lose a 3-bedroom house. But now I'm thankfully in a bungalow house, but only a 1-bedroom bungalow. So obviously it was a hostile takeover. So they did fiddle the thing. I would have been the main beneficiary of that house, that 3-bedroom house that I had to give up to them. So that's how evil they've been over here with me. So just remember that. And also my accounts, my social media accounts, restricting my social media accounts to the lowest view content, so that I don't look like such a big-headed guy or something over here. That's what they're trying to do, trying to mute my performance and trying to put me down as a nobody here. That's what it is. And I'm not trying to take over the country or something, but I don't even have freedom of expression. That's it. And I'm an international figure, an independent figure. I try to be. I'm not a bit of a maverick, but I try to be independent as possible and not try to rally around, there's countrymen and people like that, and nationalists, and people like who are xenophobic, for instance. I try not to associate myself with them, but they are obviously attacking people like them. And in the queues when I'm in the shops, I know that when I hear them muttering. So just remember that. Dr. James, Von Dutch or Von Amsterdam on 20th of August 2026.